Taxes do not actually pay for government spending at the federal level. Taxpayer money is not what pays for the trillion-dollar wars, military spending, stimulus packages, or really anything that the federal government does. The government spends first and taxes second. The federal taxes are not there to finance federal spending, but rather their purpose is to generate demand for the currency, get people working for the currency, and to control the money supply. Federal taxes are not there to generate money for the government. Taxes are there to generate demand for the government's money. When the government chooses to issue debt in the form of bonds after spending more money into the economy than it deletes out of it, it does so in order to guarantee people risk-free assets that they can store their money in and collect interest on. The federal government can always make any and all payments in its own currency. Federal government spending is in no case operationally constrained by revenues. Your federal taxes don't actually fund anything. They get deleted. The federal government both spends money into the economy and deletes money out of the economy via keystrokes at the central bank. Let's say you get a social security check or a COVID relief payment. How did they pay for it? The Treasury gets the central bank to type numbers into a computer and deposit money in your account that you have with your commercial bank. That's it. And how are we going to pay for it when it comes to progressive policies? And the answer is we pay for our policies the same way that the government pays for anything. Your commercial bank has an account with the central bank, the government's bank, the same way that you have a bank account with your commercial bank. To spend, all the government does is get the central bank to type numbers into the necessary accounts. This includes all federal government payments made in dollars. And this includes making interest payments as well as Social Security and Medicare payments, you name it. How will we resource it? The physical resources and productive capacity are what actually matter. Money is just a way for the government to get people to do stuff, which other people then pay to other people to do stuff, and the cycle goes on. We have an economy. And when you pay money to get people to build roads, build cities, trains, whatever it is, inflation doesn't automatically happen. Inflation is whether prices rapidly go up continuously, and there are many factors that can cause or prevent that. Franklin Roosevelt didn't ask how are we going to pay for it when implementing the New Deal, which created Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and a federal jobs program. And the amount of money being deleted by taxes was far less compared to what was being spent. Interestingly enough, taxes were actually cut over time while spending increased, especially in the Kennedy years. Yet the New Deal programs were maintained, and even expanded in the Lyndon B. Johnson years. All the while, the US was spending even more on its military, science, and space exploration to compete with the USSR. Taxes for revenue are obsolete. We will pay for our policies by having the Treasury get the central bank to make the money and deposit it in the appropriate accounts. How will we pay for it? We make the money with keystrokes, just like we do for everything else. Workers make things. People's labor is the real source of value produced in the world. Any policy is possible to implement if there are the physical resources available, being labor and natural resources. Corporate taxes are regressive because in almost all cases, higher corporate taxes just end up being paid indirectly by the corporation's workers or consumers, via wage cuts and price hikes. Workers need to own the means of production, and we need to collectively own our country's natural resources and services that everybody depends on. If a corporation is evil, whether by destroying the planet, exploiting workers on a mass scale, or both, then you don't tax evil. Nationalize it, make it public property, and allow the public to democratically decide what to do with it. Nationalize them, and then decide what to do with them. The root cause of inequality, which is private property. Personal property is what you use for personal use. Private property is used for monetary exchange and the accumulation of profits.